Hello, hello. I am so glad you're here. If you are watching live, take just a moment and drop into chat and say hello. Let me know you're here. I want to get our chat box warmed up. So go ahead and say hello in chat so we can get the chat going. My name is Pamela Wilson. I coach people in mid-career to build profitable online businesses. And I am so glad you're here today because it is a really great time to create a high value online offer. It is a wonderful time right now. And what I want to tell you is if you have not figured out how to create a high value offer that your audience wants, it could be because you haven't done the things we're going to go over today. So by high value offer, I just want to define that term so that we're all talking about the same thing here. A high value offer, the way I teach it, is an offer that generates $10,000 to $20,000 in revenue for your business every month. That one offer. That's what we're aiming for here, and that's what we're going to be talking about how to create. And if you have attempted this before, it's very possible that you did have a really great idea, but it's possible that you kind of forged ahead with this great idea and you didn't do the things we're going to talk about today. So hello to everyone who is logging on now. I'm so excited to see that you've joined me live. Thank you so much. I'm really glad you're here. So tell me, before we dive into this, tell me in chat, have you created an offer online yet? Have you created any offer, not even a high value offer, but any offer at all? Have you created one? Just say yes or no in chat. Have you offered anything online before? I would love to know. And thank you for answering and letting me know. It's helpful to know sort of where you are right now. So if you've created an offer, just let me know in chat. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in chat as well. I would love to know. Okay, so what I'm going to go over today is it's a process that's pretty simple, but for some reason, it's not taught that often. I think part of the reason is the online gurus, which I can't say guru without doing air quotes because you know what I mean, right? The online gurus probably prefer that you don't slow down and test your offer. And I think the reason is because oftentimes those online gurus are trying to sell you, for example, a course that helps you to build a course, right? So they don't want you to slow down and test your idea. They want you to just kind of go headlong into this and create your course without ever testing it. And the thing is, if you slow down, you may not actually invest in the course they want to sell you. So I hate to be cynical, but that's the reality. So I really want to end that issue today. My goal in this presentation is for you to fully understand the fundamental elements that you need to have in place so that you can test your offer. And we're going to be talking about basically the essential steps so that you can get good data from your offer test. And that's going to help you to know what's going to work and also maybe what won't work. And that's the goal, is to do a test, get some information before you forge ahead and create this super elaborate offer. So we're going to talk about that lots more today. But my goal is for you to understand this process so that whatever program you may sign up for in the future, whether it's mine or someone else's, you understand how an offer is tested. And if you have never created, it looks like most of you have created offers before, but a couple people have not. If you've never created an offer at all, you're going to understand this testing process after today, and it will help you to not pour a lot of time and money into something that just won't work. And if you have an offer and you want to maybe take it to a high value level and you want to get it to produce more for you every month, this process will help you do that as well. Now, if you have wandered into this presentation and you are not interested in learning how to test an offer, No hard feelings at all. You can just log off. There's a ton of content on my site, PamelaWilson.com, for all sorts of topics. And I have lots of videos on my YouTube channel as well. So if you're not really interested in this topic, no hard feelings at all. But if you are here to learn how to test an offer, I want to dive into this. I'm just bringing up my controls here because I'm going to switch over to my slides so you can see some slides that I brought to you about this and understand how this process works. So we're going to be talking about what to sell online and how you can prove your offer in less than 30 days. And my name, in case you didn't catch it at the very beginning, is Pamela Wilson. This year, I am celebrating my 30th year in business. My business started in 1992. So I've had my own business for 30 years, and I brought it online in 2010. So in 2010, I had an offline business. I brought it online. And since then, I have authored 3 books, 2 of which are here. One of them is an ebook. So I usually just show my 2 print books, Master Content Marketing and Master Content Strategy. So that makes me an author. I'm also a keynote speaker, and I am the former Executive Vice President of Educational Content for Copyblogger, which some people know about and some people don't, but it was a big, very well-known online education platform. So I was very honored to serve as the EVP of Educational Content there. And what I do today is I coach people in mid-career to build profitable online businesses. And the big thing that I want you to remember from today's presentation is that you must test your offer if you want it to succeed. I'm hoping that if there's nothing else you remember that. And, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this is that when I started my online business in 2010, I sort of kicked off the experience by investing in this really expensive program that was supposed to teach me how to create an online course. That was what I wanted to do, and I had no idea how to do it. So I invested in this program, and I forged ahead, and I created this online course. I put it on an online learning platform, and it did okay, but I made the mistake of pouring months of effort and frankly thousands of dollars into technology investments and course investments without really figuring out if the people I wanted to serve were going to get results from the course that I was creating for them, which is like, duh. I mean, now I look back and I'm like, duh. But, you have to have compassion with your former self. And as Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better, right? So some years later, I came across this concept of a minimum viable product. Have you heard of this concept? I would love to know. Let me know in chat if you have heard about this concept of a minimum viable product. Does that ring a bell? What I understood when I learned about the minimum viable product concept is that if I had just created a minimum viable version of the course that I wanted to build and I had tested that with a small group of people, I would have realized that what they really needed from me was something pretty different than what I ended up creating for them. I would have had that data. I would have had that information. Lots of people have, it's funny, Eve is saying, I've heard about a minimum viable product from you. I've been preaching that since I discovered that concept. So, what I asked though was, why wasn't someone teaching this? Why didn't anyone teach this to me back when I took that expensive course? Because it would have saved me so much time and so much effort if I had just known how to test my offer idea before I developed this super elaborate version that I created way back in 2010. So, I looked around. I didn't really find anyone teaching the process for this. in relation to creating an online offer. So I kind of developed my own process just for me to use. And what I do now is before I create any offer, I run a very simple test of it first using the steps I'm going to outline today. And the final product ends up so much stronger. And by the time we finish, you're going to understand why. It's super obvious. When you hear the steps in this process, you'll be like, oh yeah, no, that makes total sense. And the best thing about it is I actually get paid to develop my offer and to optimize it, which is, huge bonus. Instead of pouring thousands of dollars into something and not really knowing if it's going to work, you get paid to develop it and optimize it. So at this point, I've launched lots of programs and offers using this process that I'm about to outline. So let's go back over to the slides and I'm going to show you how it works. And again, don't create an offer without testing it, because this is what that looks like. You create your fancy offer. This is my fancy offer. And you put it on to this expensive hosting platform. You spend lots of money maybe to invest in a learning management system. And then maybe you buy like expensive shopping cart software and all sorts of tech extras before you've ever tested it. And you don't even know if your offer is going to work. And it's just this super fancy offer that has not been tested. And that is what we don't want, because in the online space, you can create a testable offer and then iterate. So let me talk about this iteration concept for just a moment. This is something else Eve has probably heard me talk about, but because I've been preaching this for a long time. I come from the print design world where you could not iterate anything. Everything that you created was printed on paper. So if you made a mistake, that mistake was printed and reprinted sometimes 10 and 20,000 times on the print piece that you put together, right? So no iteration in that world at all. And one of the things that's been really amazing for me personally in the online space is this concept that pretty much everything we create is like pixels, right? So if there's a mistake or there's something that needs to be optimized or improved, you can just recreate it and repost it. And that is just an amazing thing. And creating a testable offer and going into this process knowing that you're going to test it, you're going to iterate, you're going to make it better over time it's kind of like leveraging one of the huge advantages of doing business online, embracing this process of iteration. So let's talk about how it works. And the first step is to minify it. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So when we're thinking about developing something to sell online, whether it's a course or a coaching program, or maybe you want to create a membership site, or maybe you want to offer some kind of online service, typically what happens, and especially with the people that I work with, is, we're ambitious, right? And we have big dreams. And also online, we've seen other people who maybe are doing something a little bit similar to what we want to offer. And so our dreams look like this ultimate established version of an offer that has like all the bells and whistles. It's like the full-sized offer. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Like you have this dream and it's like the ultimate offer that you want to create. And you've got a vision in mind right now. So, I have this roaring lion, and this is to stand in for this ultimate version of your offer. Maybe it's modeled on something that you saw or experienced online, or maybe it's like a brand new solution that you want to develop and bring to the marketplace, but it's kind of your dream high ticket offer that you have in mind. Again, all the bells and whistles, all the, beautiful polished appearance and all of that. So I don't want you to not dream big. I actually want you to dream big. I want you to have this vision in mind of what your offer could be eventually. And at this stage, when you're sort of thinking about it and you have not minified it, like I'm going to explain in just a moment, I want you to take a moment and actually describe that offer. Write it down somewhere, fire up a document, and write down all the things you're dreaming about. Grab a piece of paper, whatever, however you like to do your thinking. Capture your dream for your beautiful, polished, ultimate version, high value offer that you want to create. Capture it. And then, so that you can test this offer, what I want you to do is to minify it. And by minifying it, I mean that I want you to look at what you want to deliver and look at the transformation that you want to deliver with your offer, and then find the fastest, easiest, lowest tech possible process for delivering that same transformation. So let's talk about this, because this is not always easy to understand, but let me give you some examples, because hopefully that will make it easier. Maybe you want to develop a course, or you want to create a coaching program, or even a membership site. What you can do for those solutions is to simply use Zoom and email. Very simple. And that very tech solution, and I'm calling it tech solution lightly, because honestly, these days, a lot of us spend hours a day on Zoom, right? So it doesn't even feel like technology anymore. It's kind of like just using a browser or something, right? So that tech solution, though, Zoom and email, is what a lot of my Offer Accelerator members use when they're testing their offer. It's very simple. It's a way for you to interact in person, or let's say in real time, with the people you're helping. And we're going to talk later about why that's so important. But it's very low tech and easy and inexpensive as well. Now, let's say you want to develop a service to offer online. So, maybe you're a writer, or you're a consultant, or something like that. There are lots of low-tech and streamlined ways to give your clients results with an approach that's not going to entail you employing a lot of technology or employing people to help deliver that service. Let me know if this makes sense. I have an example, especially for service providers, because I feel like that might be the most difficult one to understand. But let me know in chat if that makes sense to you. So, an example of developing like a low-tech testable service would be, let's say that you are a writer, and your ultimate big dream high ticket offer that you want to create is a content creation service that you're going to offer to corporations. And what you're going to offer them is to manage all their blog content and all their email marketing content on a monthly retainer. So they're going to pay you a big chunk of money every month. You're going to write all their blog posts and write all their emails, okay? So your ultimate plan is to bring on a team of writers and bring in clients and distribute the work to your team and have your team deliver the offer, right? So you may wonder, like, okay, how in the world can I test this? Well, a very simple way to test this is to just look for 1 or 2 corporate clients who will contract with you for a limited amount of time, let's say 2 or 3 months, right? And you can test creating their blog posts and their emails yourself. So don't hire anyone. Just make it very low tech. Get the logins to their email software and the logins to their blog, and do the work yourself. If it's only a client or 2, it shouldn't be too much work to handle. And the idea is to test it in a way that you can really test it out yourself directly, and you can discover what is working for those customers and what isn't working for those customers. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But one of the things that we do in my Offer Accelerator program is we help you to do this by building an offer test, no matter if it's a product or a service, that uses your existing skills. And this is really important to me personally, because I don't ever want to see you creating an offer that's based on some future skill set that you have to learn and acquire. people in our age group, we already have skills, right? So I want you to build an offer based on your current skills. If you are comfortable presenting like this on video, let's build an offer on that. If you are not comfortable on video, but you don't mind recording audio, we're going to build an offer based on that. If you like writing and you really, really enjoy writing most, then we'll build an offer based on your writing skills. So use your existing skills. And, one way to remember this is I'm going to switch back over to my slides so you can see this reminder. This is our Minified offer kitty cat here. This is the question I like to ask myself when I find myself wanting to make things too complex. And I've started to mention this in our Offer Accelerator group as well, just to remind people. Ask yourself, what if this was easy? Like, what if this was simple and not difficult to put together? Because I truly think that we should try to make things easy. And testing an offer that depends on skills that you already possess is much easier than testing an offer that depends on you learning something brand new. So let's keep it easy, keep your tech solution easy, your delivery process easy, and making this easy and simple and kind of low key is going to help you to get started faster. And that's really important. So let's look at another important component of this process of testing. And that is this idea, and you may not like this, but here we go. You need to sell it. It is very important that you sell your test offer if you want to give it a thorough test. Because testing an offer that you don't charge for is not going to give you the data that you need to make a decision about whether or not your offer is going to ultimately sell. If you want to test whether or not it's going to sell, you have to actually sell it, okay? Now, because it's a test, you're going to be selling it for the first time, and you're going to sell it for a really great price. And I'm going to give you kind of a formula that you can use to figure out that price. But what I teach in my program is that it is best to go into this testing process with full transparency for your audience. So what I mean by that is I want you to just tell people you are testing a new offer and ask them if they want to participate in the test. And you can even give the initial group that tests your offer with you, you can give them a name. You can call them members of your pilot program. You can call them charter members or founding members. Anyone who has been in my audience for any length of time has probably heard one of those terms, and you may have joined one of my pilot programs because I've been doing this for years, right? And by giving that initial group a kind of an aspirational name, you're getting them excited about the process that they are testing a new offer, and you're also managing expectations that this is the first run through of this offer, the first test, and they'll get excited about it. There's a group of people who are very excited to participate with you in this way. So then the next step is to sell this test offer at an extremely attractive price. So you may have in mind a number for your high value offer for what you want to charge for it eventually. Once you have that ultimate offer created, you have the, elaborate offer with all the bells and whistles that's been tested, you got feedback on, and you've got testimonials from your clients. You have a number in mind, right, for what you want to sell that for. And what I recommend is that when you go to test that offer, take that regular price you have in mind that you want to charge eventually and cut it in half and charge that amount for your test. Now, this is something that we help you with inside the Offer Accelerator program because I know that pricing can be really tricky. Pricing your offer can be tricky, and it can be really hard to sort of like feel confident about the price when it's just something that you're imagining in your own head, right? So I want to know if pricing is tricky for you. Let me know in the chat if that's tricky for you, if coming up with a price for your offer is fraught with difficulty. Let me know in chat. That's really why one of the things that we do in my program is to sort of serve as a sounding board for people who are working through their pricing mindset issues, because that's typically what it is. It's like a mindset thing that's associated with pricing your offer. And sometimes, yeah, Eva's saying that's actually the trickiest thing of all. I agree. It's tough. And sometimes all we have to do is to say, hey, that is a fantastic price that you came up with. It is a great value for your audience. Go for it. And we just try to build people's confidence in feeling like, yeah, I came up with an amazing price. And, we help you position the offer so that people can see how truly valuable it is. Our goal is to help you to stand up straight and feel like, hey, I'm going to charge this for my test offer, and I feel really good about that price because people are getting a ton of value. Sometimes what happens is like other people in the Offer Accelerator group will say like, I would pay twice that much for that offer. And hearing that kind of thing from the coaching staff and from the people in the program can really help you to feel confident if you're feeling a little bit wobbly about charging for your test offer. So do remember that you gotta charge money. If you want to really test your offer, there has to be an exchange of money, because you're testing whether or not your offer is going to sell. And in order to get accurate data on that, you have to sell your test offer. So, when you have support, this isn't difficult to do. It sounds difficult, but it's really not that bad. So let me get back on camera. This is another super important aspect of testing to make sure that your offer will work. And I've alluded to this a little bit in this presentation, but I want you to know that one of the most important things that you can do is to test your offer live. And actually, let me show you very briefly, just in case you're taking notes, I want to show you the note you want to take about this section of the presentation. I want you to deliver your test live. And let me get back on camera and I'll tell you what I mean by that. So by live, I mean I want you to work directly with the people who purchased your test offer so that you can see how people respond to it in real time. You want to know like what questions are they asking? What challenges are they having with what I'm delivering? What's confusing to them? And the only way to know that is to really interact with them. So it's a very essential test of your offer to get yourself in front of the people you're delivering it to. Part of it is that whole curse of knowledge thing that we've all heard about. It really is a curse to be an expert on your topic, because it's almost impossible to remember what questions you may have had at the beginning of acquiring the expertise that you have today. And so what tends to happen is we develop this offer based on what we think people need to know. And oftentimes they need something different, or they need it in a different order, or they need you to spend more time on part of it and less time on another part. You need to test in real time with people so that you know the best way to pass on your expertise. And the best way to do that is to sit across from them, and you could be sitting across from them on Zoom. It's okay. It doesn't have to be in person, but you want to be sitting across from them and fielding their questions as they work through your offer. So you want your offer test to be hands-on, in real time, and you want to include as many interactions as you possibly can so that you're interacting with those customers who buy your offer test. One of the things that we do in my program is we meet for weekly coaching, because sometimes when you're going through this part of the process and you're testing your offer, you get feedback from the people you're testing your offer with, and you're like, maybe you're not sure exactly how to interpret your feedback, or you're not sure what to do about it. And we have a lot of experience delivering online education. I mentioned at the beginning that I served as Executive Vice President of Educational Content for Copyblogger. I mean, I taught thousands and thousands of their customers. So I have some experience kind of figuring out what adult learners may need that they're not getting from your program. So that's one of the reasons our weekly coaching is there, because we're there to help you in case what you learn at this stage is confusing. But what I want you to remember is I want you to remember that you're going to interact with your customers during this test as much as you possibly can in real time, because this is going to give you multiple opportunities to sort of notice their questions and use the information that you get from those questions to make your offer better. So this leads to the last thing. Let me show you the last section of this presentation, which is I want you to stay open and listen. Because you deliver your test offer in real time, at least the first time, you get to hear where people get stuck and you notice the questions that they're asking. And again, it's super important because it shows you how you can improve the way you are delivering the transformation that you promise in your offer, but only if you stay open and listen. So let me give you an example of what this might look like, okay? So for example, let's say that you teach business bookkeeping, okay? And you've mapped out this 3-step process. You show people how to manage the books for their business and you teach it live, but then you notice, and that's what's on this slide, you notice that everybody gets stuck on this one step, which is which software to use. Should I use QuickBooks? Should I use Quicken? Like, I don't know how to decide between the software packages out there. And you didn't even think to include that in your offer because honestly, it's, because you're an expert, you know that the software they use is kind of like the least important part, but people really get stuck on that when you teach it live. And so you realize, hey, I can't have a 3-step process. I need a 4-step process. And I need to add a step where I guide people on how to make a decision around the best bookkeeping software to choose for their business. So that's the kind of feedback that you will never get if you don't deliver your offer live. And the great result of doing this is that your high ticket offer gets so much stronger because you are working with flesh and blood clients. It's really, I kind of call it iteration in action, and it's the whole reason that we test your offer in this way, because when you do this live test of your offer and you work with people directly, you're going to get feedback that will improve your offer as you create it. So I have a name for this, and it's called Earn While You Learn. And it is a beautiful thing because instead of you pouring thousands of dollars and guessing about what your audience actually needs, they're paying you to learn from you, and you're improving your offer as you go along. So, that's amazing, right? So what you want to do is to take what you learn from these charter members or these pilot program members and use it to make your offer much stronger. So I want you to stick around because I'm going to offer you a complimentary coaching session and I'm going to answer your questions. So stick around. But before I get to that part of the presentation, I want to ask you, if you're here live, would you take a moment and drop into chat and tell me what your biggest takeaway was from today's presentation? I know I'm getting a little meta here, but I want your feedback for this presentation the same way I'm asking you to get feedback on your offer, right? Tell me what stuck out for you, what was helpful, maybe something you didn't know before, or maybe it was just something that you got a good reminder of. Let me know in chat. I would love to know what that is for you. And I really hope that you understand now how to do this basic offer test. That the first step to creating any high value offer that you can actually earn $10,000 to $20,000 a month in revenue from is to test it so that you can really improve it and ensure that your offer is delivering a transformation to the people that you want to help. You're going to get feedback. You'll be able to build something that really meets people's needs, and you're going to feel really good about charging a high premium price for that offer. It doesn't take years of testing to figure this out. I actually have this process down to 30 days. Believe it or not, I walk you through how to do this within 30 days. And I want to tell you that anyone can do this. So I have taught people in my program, just to give you some examples, I have taught everyone from a psychic medium to a luxury home organizer, a business consultant, a marketing coach, a trapeze artist. I have taught all these types of people how to test a high value offer. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know if I can do this, I bet you can. Okay. So I want to just let you know that what I covered in today's presentation is a part of what I teach inside my Offer Accelerator program. And this program is designed to help mid-career online business owners just like you create a high value offer that will generate $10,000 to $20,000 in revenue every month. And because we help you to build an offer, and we didn't touch on this much today, but one of the important things in this program is we help you to build an offer that reflects your personal values. And that's really important because I want you to feel fantastic offering what you're going to offer online. I want you to love the offer that you end up creating. And so when it reflects your values, it will do that, right? Because it's you represented in the form of an offer. That's what we're going for. So we enroll a new cohort of 5 lucky clients every month. And if you are interested, the next step is actually complimentary. Gotta love that. It's actually something that I'm giving to you because it has a value of $250. You can have a conversation with my client strategy coach, Colin Yearwood. Now, if you're watching this presentation on the website, you can just scroll down on the page a little bit and you can actually see Colin's calendar. So if you're interested in booking one of these complimentary sessions, there aren't a ton of them. Especially if you're interested in talking to Colin before the next cohort starts on April 1st, I highly recommend that you book that conversation as soon as possible. If you're watching on YouTube or you're watching the replay, there will be a link in the description. And Stacy, for those who are here live, my client success coach, Stacy Cornelius, has been in chat and she is going to drop a link to where you can book that time with Colin. The conversations with Colin, he is one of the smartest and most chill people I've ever met. And he just has a conversation with you. It takes about 30 minutes. And what he's going to help you to do is, first of all, he'll help you to figure out what business stage you're in now. When you book the conversation, you'll actually be redirected to a quick quiz that will help you figure that out. And Colin will help you to figure out what you can focus on right now so that you can make progress faster. And he'll give you some recommendations for your next steps. So even if you're not interested in the Offer Accelerator, the conversation with Colin can be really valuable. And since you attended this live presentation and here you are at the very end of it, I want to thank you by giving you this session. So if you're interested, just book it at that link. And if you're interested in the Offer Accelerator, you can ask Colin about it. He can share more about the program. He can tell you how you can join. I already have filled 2 of the spots for the April cohort, and we're looking for 5 people total. So of course, simple math, that means we have 3 spots open. So if you are interested, get yourself into Colin's calendar soon, and then we'll be able to have a conversation with you. If you know that you really want to get onto the group that joins the Offer Accelerator on April 1st, there's a green button on my website, PamelaWilson.com. Up in the upper right corner, it says Offer Accelerator. That will take you to a page where you can just fill out an application and kind of bypass the first step and talk to me directly about joining the program. So if you're pretty sure you're a good candidate and you're ready to move ahead, you can bypass it and go directly to the green button on my website. So what I'm going to do now is to take questions, any questions that you may have about what we covered. I want you to drop them into chat if you're here live, and let me know anything that was confusing to you. And I'm just very briefly going to read what I'm seeing. Eve said that she enjoyed the importance of being able to identify the fastest and easiest way to deliver your transformation. Yes, absolutely. And Virginia is saying, listening for where clients get stuck and thinking about modifications from an adult learning perspective. And she said, my concision, clarity, and honesty are refreshing, and totally agree with you about all the gurus. Yes, I get it. And Connie is saying that she understands the MVP process a lot better. And Pat liked the idea of calling people charter members or founder members. Makes people feel special. So I think that's one of the things that's important. And Suzanne is saying the ideas and concepts are great. And she wants to see more examples of unique ideas that fit the model. Okay, so I will keep that in mind for future presentations. Thank you for that, Suzanne. And Pat is saying that she loved the concept of earning while you learn and getting paid while you test. Yes, that is a beautiful thing. And Jackie said that she enjoyed that when you do live testing, you can figure out where people get stuck. And Cynthia says she likes the concept of testing for 50% of the final offer price. And Ken enjoyed minifying and live testing. And Pastor Les says, I never thought to tell people that I'm testing a new offer and to ask if they want to participate. So I'm glad that that concept was helpful as well. Looking to see if there are any questions in here. If you have a question and you're here live, this might be like your last chance to ask it. So drop it in. And Sandy's saying selling the test offer is so important. It's difficult to sell something that you don't feel is well baked. Yes, that's your diplomatic way of saying selling something that's half baked, right, Sandy? So thank you for that. Yeah, totally. I think when you test your offer, it gives you so much confidence, and that confidence comes through when you're presenting your offer. People can tell if you feel really confident about the results that you deliver, and testing gives you that confidence. So Karen's saying, yes, it's very much a mindset thing. I'm still struggling. I'm thinking you're talking about the pricing thing. And Virginia is also saying, yes. Changing price with every client, but going up. So that's awesome to hear. I don't see any other questions. So what I'm going to do is wrap up this presentation. You are welcome to leave me a question in the comments below this video on YouTube. I would be very happy to follow up with you. I hope that you are booking your time on Colin's calendar. He didn't have an awful lot of time available, so I hope that you'll take a moment and book some time. So Cynthia is asking, should we offer a refund on the test offer? That it's very much dependent on what you're offering and the clients you're offering it to. So for example, coaching, typically you don't offer a refund on coaching because you're delivering that time and you can't get that time back. But you could offer a refund under some circumstances. It's kind of an it depends thing, Cynthia. I'm sorry. I hate to give those kinds of answers, but I got to be realistic, and it really does kind of depend. I would need a little bit more context before I could give you like a definitive answer to that. And Eve is saying she's trying to book a session with Colin and she's getting a connection issue message. So I will work on that, Eve. Please keep trying. We will get that figured out. Gotta love the tech issues that happen when you're presenting live. So thank you for your patience. If you are trying to book that session and you're having trouble, check again in maybe 30 minutes. And Karen's saying she wants to get back on track with this. So awesome. I would love to hear from any of you. I hope you'll take the opportunity to book a session with Colin. He is amazing. I'm really excited to have him on my team and excited to share his smarts with all of you. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And I will see you. I'm planning to do a training like this every month. So you might see me again next month around this time. And we'll come up with another training about developing high value offers, which is my favorite thing to talk about. So I want to thank you for being here and for giving me this time. If you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments below this video on YouTube, and I will be looking for you over there. Thanks so much, everybody.